back to Mama's Talk Relationships. I am Lisa Miller.
And I'm Alessandra Martinet.
Whether you're freshly separated, a seasoned single parent, or well on your way to happily ever after 2.0, we're here to share our experiences, expert insights, and a whole lot of laughter to help you rock this next chapter. Are you ready to dive into another episode?
Oh, yeah.
Hell yeah. Tell us what we're talking about today.
Today, we are talking about something that I labeled the O factor. It is in reference to romanticizing a relationship. And we came to this name because I had dated someone and I had romanticized this person so much in my head. And once those rose-colored glasses came off, I saw something that was completely different. Not bad, but different.
Yeah. And I think a lot of us do this. I mean, I am guilty for sure. I have done that a few times in my life where I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so amazing. And it doesn't matter that he cheated on the last 10 girls he dated. I am going to change him. He's going to love me so much better than he loved anyone else because it's me.
Because you're special. We are special. Like, if it can't work with us, then who the hell is it going to work with?
And by the way, I can fix him. I mean, who hasn't experienced that, right?
Yeah, like we're Bob the frickin' Builder.
We can fix it.
We can fix it, but I think we should really talk about why we romanticize.
I agree. Let's get down to the nuts and bolts of Bob the Builder romanticizing these people. I mean, I think the most important piece of this is connection. Like, especially if you just are newly divorced, you're freshly on the dating scene, and you're just ready to meet someone day one. So we put these rose-colored glasses on so we can be connected to someone because inherently, as human beings, that's our number one thing that we are craving in this life. If our nervous system had to choose between authenticity and connection, it could only choose one. What do you think it's going to choose?
It would be connection 100%.
Every single time. Most people would answer authenticity because they're like, I want to be authentic to myself and I'm gonna be true to who I am. And that's where our logical brains go. But to go back to the caveman days, and it's the lion chasing you. You're like, oh my gosh, you go into this survival mode if the connection in your lives are being threatened. So
yes,
on the other side of that coin is we crave deep connection. And so if you haven't had that in a long time, you're gonna put the rose-colored glasses on so you can be connected.
And the flags are no longer red, they're pink because we have the glasses on.
Yeah, exactly. You stop seeing them all. That's why, time and time again, you'll hear me say in the beginning of any relationship, go slow. Make sure you really get to know who this person is. Because here's the really important part of that piece is anybody can pretend, put a mask on for the first 3 to 6 months. 3 to 6 months. So who someone shows up on date number 1 may not be the same person by date, 3 months in.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
You can't.
But it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done.
Of course.
Because we feel good and we're like, yeah, this is spot on. This is exactly what I need.
Yeah. So you're like, fuck yeah. I want to put these rose-colored glasses on because I haven't had that in a really long time.
But then the other part of this thing is we also look at the potential. We don't look at the reality. We look at the potential. You're like, he's successful. He's good looking. He's fun. He's adventurous. But then there's a whole back thing that we choose to overlook, that he has attachment issues, that he's avoidant. There's so many
that
things.
He's an alcoholic.
That he's an alcoholic. Yeah. but we fall in love with the potential. Well, he could get better, and I want to be the one to help him.
I know I can help him. It's not even I could. I know I could. So therefore, he needs me. And then we go into these like people pleasing tendencies. Like I'm gonna be the person that shows up for him. I'm gonna overgive. I'm gonna do He's gonna be above me. Mm, that sounded sexual. That's not what I meant. But like like in the prioritizing, like
Yeah, you're going to put him first.
you're gonna put him above you. And like in that, we lose ourselves. So
Hmm.
the moral of the story is take the rose colored glasses off before you get to that point.
But it's hard. And
Don't have to put them on.
it's funny because we've talked about this before, that I can be in a situation, since we are a collective person a lot of the time.
You're one.
We're one. But I can be in a situation, I'm like, no, he's fine. He's different. He's like this. And you're like, no, you need to stop. This is not what it is.
Right.
And
Here's the important part of that piece, right? It's like when you're the one in it, it's really hard to see sometimes. So you have to trust people outside of you when they're telling you, like, hey, look, there's a red flag. Like, you need to at least look at it, you know?
yeah,
Because like when you are in it and you're feeling good and you're feeling connected again, like the oxytocin's running through your veins and you're just like, that's not true. Like, I got this. I'm good. And you know what? Like, here's the thing. Maybe you are good for a little while, but at some point you're gonna start feeling like, oh no, there's that red flag. And like you're like, why didn't I see it before? The truth is you did see it. You just chose not to ignore it.
yeah. And you're just like, okay, well, maybe, he'll be more consistent, or maybe he'll make more of an effort, or maybe he'll be more affectionate. You can't make someone do anything they don't want to do.
No, and it's like these maybes, it's like, that's a big maybe. Like he maybe might not ever do it too.
Yeah. But I also
And
think, oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
I also think that we're at an age, and I mean, we're just out of divorce. We have the kids, we're in our 40s, and you're like, you know what? This is something that I can negotiate. I can compromise on, because
Mhm.
it's not that bad. So it's kind of
Yeah.
like romanticizing, but also somewhat settling, because we don't want to do the work to get the right partner, because it's
Or
a
the
lot of work.
patience.
Or sorry,
And
let's rephrase that. The patience. Yes.
right. But it's also yes, and right. It's like you're saying, we settle and all the things. And it's also because we're scared. There's all this fear of I'm gonna be alone forever. So therefore this is good enough. And like I'll deal with this kind of bad behavior, maybe. And when I say bad behavior, you guys, nothing toxic, nothing, abusive or anything like that. But like maybe like, oh, like he said he was gonna pick me up at 6 and he constantly is showing up at 7. Or, you know, he and I are supposed to talk on the phone every night and, half the time I never hear from him, or if I call him, he doesn't answer. Like these are things that like are your wants, and your wants are totally okay to have. Everybody has different wants. But when we start to say like, oh, but it's okay, or make excuses because those rose-colored glasses are on, you need to start to notice, like, is it really okay? Does this really feel good to be with someone who isn't showing up for me, isn't making me a priority? Is that really how I want the person who I'm spending like my free dating time? Because let's be honest, as single parents, we don't have a ton of free
Yep.
time. So who we give it to matters.
Absolutely. And I think that we should, I personally think that if you get to a place where you are okay on your own, you will be more patient and less willing to overlook any of the red flags.
And I'll just add to that. If you are okay on your own, like truly, truly okay on your own, that is the most powerful place you can be. Because then when you do meet someone and you're ready to invite them into your world, you will show up as your best self. You will show up
Yep.
confident. You will show up with so much just like love in your heart, ready to receive and give. And that's
That's true.
super important. When you are needing, quote unquote, needing somebody, trust me, you're going to be chasing. It's not going to feel good. You're going to, nothing's ever going to be enough.
No.
And that's a really just like place of scarcity and lack. And that's what your vibe's going to be. So, and that's a kind of like the basic law of attraction right there is like energy attracts like energy, right? So if you're
Yep.
showing up in scarcity and lack, how do you think your new partner is going to be?
Yeah, and then you chase them away basically. But I always go back to what a guy friend of mine told me. If you want a good guy, you've got to be a good woman because
Yep.
that's what you're going to attract.
Yep. Like energy attracts like energy. And you need to be the person that you love first. No one can love you more than you love yourself.
Yep. And I think that's once all of that falls into place, we will stop romanticizing, take the glasses off, and see people
And know
for
your
what they
worth.
are. And know your worth. And it doesn't mean that they're bad people. It's just not the right fit. And that's what you do when you just try to, it's like Cinderella with the slipper. You just keep trying to make your foot fit.
Yeah.
And you know deep down it's not the right thing.
Absolutely. And it doesn't matter because you just want that connection so bad. But
Yeah.
the right connection is out there. You have to be patient. You have to do the work on yourself. And then you'll stop romanticizing these guys that like they're not changing.
They are not changing. Unless they're in diapers, they're not changing. And you've got to be okay being on your own. And I got to tell you, I mean, I don't have a Mr. Wonderful, so I know you're in a completely different situation, but I'm so at peace with myself.
Yeah.
And that is a really good place to be.
Such a good place to be. I mean, like all those conversations of like, what's going on? Why isn't they calling me? And like, we make it mean something about ourselves until you're just like, wait, like, I don't actually need someone. Like, I'm really good on my own.
Absolutely.
You show up so differently.
You feel different.
And that's way more attractive. And you're going to attract a way more emotionally available human being into your life.
I hope so. Do you have anything else to add, Lisa Miller?
He is on his way to you. I know it because we live parallel lives.
Oh, really? He better not be in Seattle.
No, but that wouldn't be so bad that we'd like hang out in Seattle. I'm like, it's not bad.
Every other weekend.
It's perfect. We just meet here.
Well, all right, Mama.
I don't have anything else to add.
Okay. Well, we're nearing the end of another episode of Mama's Talk Relationships. And as always, we want to thank you for joining us on this journey. And if you're enjoying the podcast, please consider leaving us a review and subscribing wherever you listen to our podcast. And don't forget to share your thoughts with us.
And also follow us on our Instagrams. I'm at lisamiller.coach. Alessandra is at Mama's Guide to Divorce. And send us a DM. Let us know what you think. Let us know if there's any topics you want us to cover. We are here for you. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye.